If you or someone you know has been diagnosed with cancer, then this could be a very important video. My name is Owen, and I was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer almost 1 year ago. The doctors told me that I would have 2 years to live, 2 to 5. They told me that 80% of people in my condition die, and they gave me a whole lot of statistics that in no way, shape, or form motivated me in any way. When I first got diagnosed with cancer, I spent a lot of time on the floor, huddled in a ball, sitting on the floor in my closet in total darkness at 2 o'clock in the morning, screaming, pounding walls, crying. And I'm sure my kids heard. I'm sure my wife heard, but what could they do? And this is very concerning because I'm a very motivational type A, upbeat type of person, right? Like, you know, I deal with trials and storms and sadness, same as anybody else, but I listen to motivational videos on YouTube and I pump myself up and I get myself out of it and I get myself moving again. And I think of all the things that drive me as a person, right? Like in my day job, I'm a YouTube coach. I teach people how to get on YouTube and how to make videos. And I have these 4 wonderful kids and we snowboard together. And you know, I remember listening to my daughter on a roller coaster, laughing and thinking, wow, what a joy to hear my daughter's laughter. But all of those thoughts were not enough to get me out of the darkness that the statistics put me in. And I heard some advice that was groundbreaking for me. And I want to share that advice with you right now. Whether you have been diagnosed with a horrible cancer or whether you're caregiving for someone with cancer, I want to tell you this: the statistics don't matter. The numbers don't matter, okay? Because it doesn't matter if 40,000 people in America tried this chemotherapy and 80% of them are dead. You know why? Because 20% of them are alive. What did they do? That's the number that matters. That's what you have to think about. When the doctors told me that 80% of the people that have what I have die, I forgot to ask, where are the other 20%? Because that's the vitamins that I want. That's the juice I want. The statistics don't matter, and I first heard this from a documentary on Netflix called Heal, and you have to watch this documentary. I watched this documentary after my biopsy, and I remember I was hit that just because some dude with my cancer died doesn't mean I'm gonna die. He was 55 years old. He was a smoker. He drank Coke. He ate garbage food all the time. I don't know the details of his life. It doesn't matter if a woman with my cancer or a similar cancer tried the same medicine and she died, because I don't know what her lifestyle was like. I don't know what her genetics were like. And so what on earth does that big bulk statistic have to do with me? Maybe they made the decision that they were gonna give up on cancer. I don't know. And I know what you're thinking, because if you're watching this video right now, you have not given up on cancer. You have decided to defeat cancer. You have decided to do what you're going to do. And it probably boggles your mind that some people give up when they get their diagnosis. But that is exactly what people do. Recently, a 65-year-old lady at our last church that we went to was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal cancer. She posted about it in the Facebook group. And so my wife reached out to her and said, you know, my husband has shrunk his tumors 50%. We're part of a thriving community of cancer survivors. And can we share with you the treatments? And she said, no. She said, God has ordained for me a time to live and a time to die. And this is my time to die. And aren't I holy? Everyone. And here's the thing that I'm going to address to all Christians everywhere, whether you're a Christian or not. If you're not, just skip this. But if you are a Christian, God does not rock you gently to your death. God's a fighter. He's a lion, right? He makes your arms ready for war. He cures you of your diseases and heals your iniquities. So to say that God has ordained for me to die of cancer is garbage. It's unbiblical. It's unholy. When the Bible says that you are to endure, sister, to the end. And what do you do when a believer, when a fellow church member comes at you and is like, here's how we're beating this disease? So look, if you've been diagnosed and you're sad about it, I get it. Be sad. You've got time to be sad, okay? But you've got to ignore the statistics that they give you, okay? Because if only one person a year beats cancer, there's no reason that one person can't be you. There's no reason that one person can't be your sister, can't be your mother, can't be your uncle, your dad, your cousin, your brother, your friend. There's no reason. I believed that I was destined to die, and I shook my fists at God because of these damn statistics that they threw at me. Why? Are they helpful? Were they helpful statistics? I don't think so. They certainly didn't motivate me to do anything but hold my gun and cry. You have to ignore the statistics. You have to remember that you are fearlessly, you have to remember that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that you can beat anything that comes into your path. You are not going through the storm, my friend. You are the storm. So you have to ignore the statistics, because there is no statistic that accounts for your will to live. There is no statistic that accounts for all the work that you are going to do. And when you beat cancer, whether it's a year from now or 2 years from now, you are going to look back and you are going to say, I ignored the statistics. So look, I know that after a diagnosis, they throw a lot of numbers at you. And I'm guessing most of those numbers aren't going to be positive. I want to share one last point about statistics. And that is that you have to consider what they're measuring, okay? When they told me that 80% of the people in my situation die, what they were really saying is 80% of the people that had your condition that we tested with this chemotherapy died. What is that statistic really saying? It's really talking about who lives after their chemotherapy. Here's what I don't have. I don't have statistics on how many people chose not to do their chemotherapy and still lived. It could be that not doing the chemotherapy actually gives me a better chance of survival. I wouldn't know, because if you chose not to do the chemotherapy, you wouldn't have been included in those statistics. You need to know what they're testing, because here's the bottom line. I'm going to land the plane right here for you. If you want to beat cancer, then it doesn't matter who did what chemotherapy. The only thing that matters is who beat cancer. You don't need to look at pharmaceutical company statistics. They don't matter. You need to go look at people who survived your cancer. What did they do? Do those things, because the hospital gives you like two choices, right? Chemo and radiation. But when you start to study survivors, people who beat your cancer, all of a sudden it's like, oh, this person did this and this person did that and that person did IVC and that person did, hyperbaric chamber therapy. And you can start throwing everything at your cancer. Big action gets big results. Follow the cancer survivors. And if you are looking for survivors of your cancer, then join our Facebook group. There's links in the description box below. And just say, I'm looking for survivors of X cancer. And I'm part of a bigger community. I can go find those survivors for you. You can learn what they're doing. Newsflash, we're all doing metabolic therapy. All of us. Every single person that survives cancer in my community, and there's hundreds of them, is metabolic therapy. So look those things up, become a part of the community. Now, you have no excuses now. You've seen my videos, you've seen my channel. You know you can beat cancer. You know that you could be standing in front of a camera a year from now, healthier and stronger than you've ever been. And this, my friends, is the new stage 4. This is what cancer looks like in the future. No more bald heads, no more wheelchairs, no more blankets on our legs because it's so cold. But stage 4 is now a wake-up call to live the healthiest and the most productive life you've ever lived.